Dear viewers, my name is Anatoly Gorbachev and I'm a member of the Nostrum ICO team. In this video, which is going to be a three-part video, I will introduce to you the basic knowledge which you need to be able to understand how the crypto world works. Let us start from the beginning. In 2008, a user under the name of Satoshi Nakamoto for the first time shared his idea on the cryptography mailing list. This idea rapidly spread and also quickly gained the support of other users. This idea consisted of making a system which could create digital currencies, a currency which would not be based on anything physical, but rather on bits. Satoshi first proposed an academic article explaining in detail how all this could work, and a couple of months later developed a software program which could make these transactions possible. After doing this, Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared and was never heard from again. Whether this was a single person or a group working together to make and publish the project is still a mystery to this day. The platform and the currency created would be different from the other currencies which would be used online at the time, through entities such as banks, for example, since they did not require the use of a third party. With normal currencies, when you make an online transfer, a third party, i.e. a bank, first needs to confirm that you have the money in your account, and only after that does said bank transfer the money to the recipient. In this case, you will have to give personal details such as name, age, and bank account number. Cryptocurrencies, on the other hand, the first of which was created by Satoshi and is called the Bitcoin, allow their users to remain completely anonymous due to their decentralized way of working. This works somewhat the same way as, say, using normal paper money would, where you don't have to provide any personal information about yourself when making any transactions. This means that users do not require any third parties when they make their transactions. Contrary to the normal currencies, the Bitcoin is based on a peer-to-peer system and works in a similar way to, say, torrents, where if you want to download something, you do not download it from the central server, but from the other users which already have it on their computers and are connected to the internet. Any person who has torrents on their computer acts as a server for the use of others for their downloads. In this case, people are downloading the torrent directly from the computer of others, peer-to-peer. Satoshi used this as a basis to make the cryptocurrency work. In order for people to check their savings and transactions, the global ledger was created. This ledger would contain all the Bitcoin transactions which were ever made, and could be checked by any individual to see how much crypto money they had in their accounts. An important aspect of this ledger is that the transactions are completely public and open for any individual to see at any time. In this ledger, you would be able to trace the movements of any one single Bitcoin between all the accounts it's ever been to ever since its creation. How does one remain anonymous, you would ask? The answer is that creating an account in this ledger does not require any personal information and is as such untraceable. So you would be able to trace the transactions of any one account, but you would not be able to determine to whom this account belongs. This global ledger is known as the blockchain and is something very used in the crypto world. The blockchain is a ledger which is comprised of smaller blocks which store the details of all the transactions made. Each block is related in reference to the block before it to make sure that the data is stored securely and strictly chronologically. Each block can be said that is almost chained to the one previous to it, hence the name of the blockchain. This is going to be explained in more detail in the future parts. The ledger needs to use these blocks due to a limited storage space for the transactions of approximately 1 megabyte. These blocks are distributed around the world and its participants, and it's practically impossible to modify past transactions which have already been recorded on the blockchain. As long as users remain online, or at least some users remain online, it is also practically impossible for the data of the blockchain to disappear. Each new block is created by the members of the community. As such, any member which has access to a computer can create a block which will go on the blockchain. People who create these blocks are called miners. To wrap things up for the first part, here is a simplified example of a situation which could happen in a crypto world. Say user A wants to transfer 1 Bitcoin to user B. A miner would make a separate block in order to store the information of this transaction and then send this block to all the other users which are online. The majority of these users will then have to approve of this block for this block to become an official part of the blockchain. This whole procedure is what is known as adding a block to the blockchain. Only at this point will the crypto money actually be transferred to the block, which has already been added to the blockchain, and become available for everyone to see. Where will this block be saved? The answer is on the computers of all the users who are online at the point. This doesn't necessarily mean that every computer has every transaction on it, but due to the amount of users, we can say that these transactions are equally distributed. This is a very simplified version, of course, and in real life it's much more complicated, as each block contains around 2,000 transactions which are stored in text format, and as we previously said, occupies around 1 megabyte of space. Well, this is it for the first part of the video, guys. Don't forget to follow us on the social media to see more interesting content. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye bye.